Hey guys, it's me, HE Animation, and in this review I decided to change things up. I decided that I'm going to do it in a vlog form instead of an actual video editing form in order to make things a lot more quicker and to just really just get my thoughts out because I have a lot to say about this show and how it went from season 1 to 4 and a lot of the issues with it. And I think making it in the vlog form will probably be more beneficial to me. And especially since I have a lot on my plate and a lot that I have to do. So to not edit this so much, it just makes things quicker. Let's just say that. It makes things quicker. So I hope you enjoy the review. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is a show that I really did like watching during its first two seasons. But recently, I've kind of been not into the show that much. And especially after seasons 3 and 4, looking at it as a whole, the show is really flawed. And even from the beginning, and even in season 2, there were some flaws with the show, which I'm going to point out in this video. So, let's get on with it. Season 1 is not that good, honestly. Looking back, I think there are some really noticeable problems with this season. But I think the biggest one is that it's inconsistent. It truly is. Like the quality of the episodes just really it's either you get a good episode, a mediocre episode, or a bad episode. It's just the show the episodes are just really mixed in quality, and I think one of the biggest reasons is that Star herself can basically, while she does generally have her likable moments and stuff, there are times where Star is can be honestly kind of annoying, and her antics can come off as more annoying than funny, and in these episodes that I'm going to show you, it it'll prove my point on why season 1 is not really that good. So we start out with Star Comes to Earth, which I will say is a really good first episode. It takes a little bit to get going, but I say after like after like the 3 or 4 minutes, it starts getting really good and has some really creative, funny moments in it, and 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 it basically it starts out the show really well. It introduces us to our characters and what they like to do and stuff, and has some funny, creative gags there and interesting set pieces, but not crazy interesting set pieces. But it like it's a really fun ride. Party with a Pony, on the other hand, is um well, it's not bad, I will say, because there are actually some actually funny jokes and some interesting set pieces. But what really brings the episode down is Ponyhead. She is so annoying and obnoxious. My lord, I hate her voice and her mannerisms. It's just absolute annoying to sit through. It really is. Ugh. And 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 if she wasn't in this, well, I mean, of course, I mean, this episode probably wouldn't happen because it is about Ponyhead, but still, it really does bring the episode down to just okay. That that's pretty much what I can say. It has good things going for it, but Ponyhead, especially, is definitely what really brings the episode down. And now we go back. So, and now we go to Matchmaker, which unfortunately is not a good episode. I think this episode it kind of sucks. I don't find any of the humor in this episode to really be funny. It's kind of just the plot itself is kind of lame. It like none of the gags, none of the jokes land. None of the set pieces are really interesting and stuff. And maybe parts of the fight scene, but that's only small and just it's not funny. The plot is lame, and it's just and it can get annoying at times. It's just it's not good. It truly isn't good. And now we get to School Spirit, which I will say that the first half is lame. It's not good. It's truly not very good. It's not really funny. I kind Star kind of comes off as more annoying than funny in this episode. At least in the first half, I don't really get her motivation here. It's just and the episode kind of drags, especially Marco's conversation with Alfonso and Ferguson. It drags kind of, and it. But I will say that I'd say like the last 4 5 minutes are entertaining. I actually did like the scene at the football field where and Star accidentally I mean no accidentally Star unleashes these monsters um to the football field well because she thinks that um um and wait um 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 and because she takes the concept of going to battle literally and puts all these really tracked bombs and and stuff like that and the sequence itself is fun. I will say that, but um yeah, but with the first half of the episode not being that good, and the last part where Star just she doesn't apologize for her actions. She really doesn't. It kind of comes off, and that's one of the reasons why she kind of why she comes off as more annoying than actually funny in this episode. Really, and it's basically that, and just and it is that, and which is the reason why this episode is just okay. It has a first half that's not really that good, and the second half that is mostly enjoyable, but we start not apologizing at the end. So basically, it just adds up to an okay episode. Monster Army is fun. I quite actually like this episode. It's not the most it's not the most complex or interesting or amazing or funniest episode, but it has its fun moments, and it doesn't really do anything truly wrong, and there are funny lines and jokes in there, and it's a fun episode. That's basically what it is. Uh, Oh, and I also love the monster's design and voice, but yeah, overall it's a fun episode. The other exchange student. This is just a cliche episode. It really is cliche. It's probably one of the most stock plots in television that has ever existed. It's basically, oh look, someone comes into a house. Someone thinks someone is doing is trying to do bad things to them, but it turns out that they're not overall. It's basically that. It's just and each gag is predictable as all get out. You know what's going to happen at the end. Duh. Every single thing joke just it's just almost like every joke that has anything to do with the exchange student. It's just it's why it's for none of the jokes are funny. It's just so predictable, dull, and just I, I don't I just don't like this episode. I think it's probably one of I'd say it's second worst. It really is. It's just it's so dull, predictable, and just it's nothing. It's really nothing. That's what it is. It's nothing. Um, Cheer Up Star. This episode is just okay. It's truly the definition of a mediocre episode. I mean, it's nice that Star tries to cheer up Martha and Good, and the monster scene is kind of cool. I mean, the monster fight scene at the end is kind of cool, but everything it's just it's not really funny or really that interesting or anything like that. It's just there. That's basically what it is. It's just there. It's just a really okay episode. Um, Quest Spy. Yeah, this episode is it's fun. I actually do enjoy this episode. It has some funny jokes, some fun set pieces, and 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 it's a fun episode. I can't really say much about it. Um, yeah. The Diaz family vacation. This episode is just absolutely just it's really just it's just it's really air. That's what it is. It's just not very good. It's just Starbring. It's like the other exchange student. It's predictable. It truly is. It's just Star brings the Diaz family to a vacation. They get excited, net, and then Star and rinse and repeat. Oh, it's the same story told just three times and just not really much interesting things and not it's not really funny. It's not funny. And it's not really interesting. It's not funny. It's just it just it, that's basically what it is. It's the same story. It's 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 really lackluster. That's basically what it is. It truly is. I mean, and and there are some good things, some nice things about it. Like, I mean, at the end, it's revealed that a star's father, Moon, and, and and does have a different life than what he seems in that he likes to get he likes to be rough and stuff. I mean, that scene is nice, but everything else is just eh. It's not good. Britney's party. This episode's annoying. It truly is. It's just it doesn't really it goes out a way too. The episode goes way the episode goes out of really fast. I mean, at a fast pace, and Star just kind of comes off as more annoying than funny. Well, it's basically like a Star just proofs up some stuff. Kids really like it. Rinse and repeat, and you have this monster fight, and Marco getting sick, and then Ludo getting sick. It's just it's all of that, and just it's not it comes off as more obnoxious and funny. It's just it's not good. That's what I'm saying. It's not good. And also it's not funny. Like it really is not funny. Um, Mutiny. You know, this is an episode that I will say is something that really just it uses the show's concept to its advantage, which I think was honestly um missing quite a bit in some of these early episodes. It really uses the show's concept to its advantage, and it really works. It's not really that funny, but it, but what really just brings it is the atmosphere and the fact that we've never seen it before. It makes it seem like a different episode, but in a good way, and has really good atmosphere. And whilst there aren't many jokes, it has a few jokes that are funny and interesting set pieces. It just makes it, one of the best episodes of the season. Pixtopia, on the other hand, is not that good. It has a somewhat interesting premise, but it really doesn't make the most of it. Yes, the location does look nice, but again, it doesn't make the most of its setting. Like, I mean, and Alfonso and Ferguson also tagged on, and they aren't really interesting or funny characters. Really, they're just there, and the humor, it's not really funny. It's not like unfunny either. It's just This episode is just really just it's forgettable. It really just is. It's not really fun. It's not really interesting. It's just there. Um then we get on to the episode this episode, Lobster Claws. This is another episode that is just it has funny moments in it, especially during the middle. But the premise is honestly predictable. Honestly, it's stuff we've seen really before, and the stuff that happens at the end. I mean, in the last third, is just why did this happen? Why it's just it's just for the most part the episode is just it's just okay. That's basically what I can say, with a few funny jokes. Sleep Spells, on the other hand, is an interesting episode in that it's actually kind of like school spirit in that basically the first half and the second half have different qualities. In this case, the first half is actually genuinely funny. There's actually some really good funny jokes in there in trying to help Star, stop sleep and doing her sleep spells, in that she makes spells in her sleep, and Marco tries to act as a psychiatrist, and there were some actually funny jokes there that I do actually like, and and it seemed like it was leading to somewhere interesting. Where in basically it it, it seemed like the conclusion to all this was that it was due to Star's having issues with her mother, in that basically she and and that was the reason she was doing these sleep cells. But no, that's not it. It's because of this monster who wants to steal her face, and oh boy, is the monster! I mean, is this creature just absolutely annoying? Like, I mean, the this it it just really bends over backwards, and just the second half is just absolutely not good. It's like, I mean, this monster just makes obnoxious selfie jokes. It's just, and they repeat this joke. And the voice is just annoying. It's not good. It truly isn't. And it, the episode it just makes it, the episode just balances out to just being okay. And now we get to the next episode, Blood Moon Ball, which honestly is this episode is Tom's first appearance, and he really is an interesting character, I will say, and especially in this episode, in his first appearance, and him well, actually, it's not his first appearance, but it's his first major role. But yeah, I mean, how he tries to lure Star to a blood moon ball, and the atmosphere and stuff, and just everything around it, and it feels more it feels, compared to before, it feels more serious, and and it has this really good atmosphere to it, and and there are some funny jokes scattered throughout, and it, it, it's a good episode, I will say. And the story's also interesting, and the blood moon ball thing is, I mean, at this point, is a new concept. And too bad they would mess this up in season 4, but we'll get there. Oh, we'll get there. And then we have Fortune Cookies, which is Toffee's first appearance. And he is honestly he's great. I have to say he's great. Like it's generally due to his appearance, his the voice acting, and his demeanor that really makes him just that really makes him just a great villain, I would say. And but sadly, the actual plot of Star Marco, Star thinking fortune cookies will. I mean, it's just it, it's just it's not really funny. It doesn't really lead to really much funny jokes or anything like that. But Toffee is there, and it's and some parts are kind of enjoyable, but overall, it's just it may be Toffee's first appearance, but this episode is just okay. That's basically what I will say. It's just okay. Freeze Day, on the other hand, is a good episode. I I like the location. I like the set pieces. I like the actual plot of it. I mean, the actual conflict of Marco just trying to ask and trying to stand up to himself, and trying to make the next step and actually talk to Jackie more, and 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 how he gets to that point. I mean, and during flashbacks and stuff, it's interesting, and I like it. It's good. I won't say any more. Royal Pain. Oh boy, this episode is awful. It's truly bad. It's like, I mean, it's in the title. It is a pain to sit through. Star's father is just absolutely obnoxious in this episode, and none of the comedy works in any way. Like, it's just, oh, and and the plot, like the comedy, like it I know I said, but it's really bottom of the barrel. It's just, why do this? It's just it's some of the worst comedy I've seen in this show, and it's just it's truly awful. Like, I cannot, like I cannot. It's 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 not good. It's really really bad. Saint Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses. This episode is dull. I'm gonna cut to a chase. It's dull. Saint Olga's you know Saint Olga's school is not an interesting place. It really isn't. And the fact that they reform princesses, it's it's stuff we've seen before. It's not interesting. It is so not interesting. Yes, the atmosphere does work, but the actual plot of the episode is a generic prison break plot that really doesn't have much interest going for it. And it's about, and they have to rescue Ponyhead, which I don't care. Ponyhead is an annoying character. I do not care for Ponyhead. So yeah, with a generic plot and a school that's not interesting, with stuff that we've seen before, and just it's not good. But I will say that parts of it, like Miss like like um Miss Haynes's and the fact that she has to glow her and she has to stop her cheeks from glowing, like that's interesting. Like that's the most interesting part of the episode, and it's something that we would see later on down the line. It's too bad that they just dragged that plot out until season 3, because I don't know, maybe I'm guessing they didn't really know what they had at the time and why it was there. But I will say it actually did pay off well in season 3, which is honestly one of the few good things about that season. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, this episode is dull. It's for the most part not very enjoyable, entertaining, and interesting. It's just absolutely dull. I'm sorry, but it really is. I would love to hear a good defense for why this isn't, but I'm sorry, but it is. Independence Day. Yeah, this episode's great. I'm not kidding. It's a really good episode, and it is an interesting plot, interesting an interesting subplot, and that ties it back in, and actually genuinely funny lines, and I don't really have much else to say about it. It's really good. Same with the Banana Kingston, which probably might be my second favorite episode of the season. It's really funny. Like Star actually comes off as actually funny and not obnoxious in this episode, and it really leads to some, and it uses the show's concept to its advantage, and just it brings out some really funny jokes in there, some actually funny humorous jokes. It's like, and Marcus Subler also has a lot of funny jokes there. It's a really funny episode. So interdimensional field trip. Yeah, this is actually a fun episode. I won't deny it. It's actually fun, and the set pieces they go through, I mean, the star and her class go through during this interdimensional field trip is really fun and interesting, and there are some funny jokes in there. So yeah, it's a fun episode. Marco grows a beard. This is enjoyable enough, and Toffee's plan is interesting, I guess, and there's some funny parts there. It's it's fine. I don't really have much much else to say about it, and it leads into the next episode, and finally we have Storm the Castle, which is a really good season finale, and to a season, and just really just and it just does everything that a season 1 finale can do. It makes it it raises the stakes of the series up until that point, and just makes things like, I like the story. I mean, it's not really a funny episode, but again, it's fun because the drama is actually really interesting and compelling. Not super compelling, but it's something that really does work, especially up until that point. And you really get the feeling that Star and Marco have actually become do actually care for each other, and you know and and there's just some really interesting stuff there. So and that scene where Star confesses to her parents about her magic. Uh, and about the one being broken, and why it's broken, is really heartwarming. And yeah, like again, this is a really good season finale. I don't really have much else to say about it. But despite these 5 episodes, it still doesn't change the fact that season one of Star vs. the Forces of Evil is just okay. It is just a really okay show in its first season, and compared to a lot of especially recent Disney shows, and even Disney shows before them, it's not even that. It just really falls short, and the problem is that it's inconsistent in quality. Like some characterizations are inconsistent, some of the humor is inconsistent in that some episodes Star could be enjoyable, and some episodes she can be just alright, and some episodes she's just honestly kind of annoying. And the humor basically sometimes the humor can be really funny, but sometimes the humor can be really not funny. And sometimes the episodes can actually be fun and enjoyable, and other times it can be just absolutely dull, and at sometimes it can be just absolutely frustrating to sit through. And that that's basically it. It just makes things. The show didn't have. It kind of lacked quality control in its first season. There was severe lack of quality control, leading to a lack of quality consistency in its first season. It just seemed to lack like a lot of it, a lot of quality in a lot of episodes. There was only like 11 episodes in the season as a whole that I thought was good. The rest would range from just mediocre to just downright awful. So you can you can see it just really lacked quality control, and and it led to a lot of these episodes becoming the way they were. But to be fair, it seems like the writers did caught onto this, as the last 5 episodes are of good quality, and thankfully it does lead into season two, which does greatly improve on a lot of the aspects of season one, and 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 basically the episodes are of more consistent quality in season two compared to season one, and 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 it does things that build on the stuff that was established in season one, and just it just makes things a lot better.